Yo, 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 it's Thursday night. The boys are back in town. We do karate stuff. This
Yeah.
is Dean. I'm Hi-Fi.
Yep. Hola.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
Good, great show. See you guys next week.
Actually, next week I'll be in Vegas.
Oh, is that Knowledge Fest?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm living in the future because I don't know if you ever do this, but you're always like, dude, this time next week I'll be here.
I think
And-
everybody kind of does that.
yeah. And then when you get back, you go, this time last week we were there. And
Dude,
now we're back here. This sucks.
let me sidejack this for a little bit because this is what I do. I'm excited for the trip or wherever I'm going, and I'm going
Yeah.
there. And the whole time I'm on the trip, like, damn, this ends in 2 days. Damn, this ends in 1 day.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm leaving today.
Yeah.
I'm always dreading it.
I
Unless
I
it's a
hate
long
that.
trip, then I'm the other way. Like if it's a long trip, like all right, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's just it. Like long trips are just like you don't even think about it because it's like at the beginning, like when we were gone this past summer, in the beginning, I was like, oh man, and he was like, dude, we got another day here, and I was like, really? It's like, yeah, and then we got 6 days here, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not even gonna pay attention anymore.
exactly.
By the
Yeah,
time it was over, I was like, oh, thank God, it's almost over.
yeah,
But this weekend will feel like 7 days wrapped into three, so it's
yeah. You'll be working the whole damn time.
no. So that's the nice thing about this one.
Yeah,
We're doing one class, 8 o'clock Saturday morning. We called it oddly enough, we called it the 5-star way. And it's just gonna be um it's an overview of because everyone always so it's that mixed bag of shit, right? Because they go when they ask you how did you do it,
yeah.
and you're like, do what? Get a customer making a YouTube video or get a YouTube plaque that I can hang on my wall? Which one are we talking about here? Because there's two different answers depending on the question. And
Yeah.
most of the time, what they want to ask is, hey, how did you get the YouTube plaque that you hang on the wall?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that one. Okay. So you want to know how to get fans and that whole bullshit, but they're always kind of so it's like which I hate talking about that stuff because I'm not that guy. I'm not thinking about it
Yeah.
like, all right, here's what you gotta do. Because you're either gonna do it or you're not. To get
Right.
that, for Steve to hit 1 million, he has had to put in years and years of work.
Right.
Towards the end, you could tell, he was over it,
Right.
because he's got a real job
Well,
now.
he just and I would say the past 5 years, he's just doing the videos that he wants to do, which is
Mhm.
that is really the dream. That is the
Yeah.
100% dream. You're
Yeah.
doing only the videos you wanna do
Yep.
and showing off all like, any one of us, if you have cool tools, that's the most coolest thing to me.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I have this tool. I can do this. Might not be, they might wanna see subwoofer as a viewer, but
Yeah.
when you're showing off, it's like, "Hey, check out this laser. I'm doing
Yeah.
really cool shit with it."
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, like this week we put out 2 videos that it's like I reviews are fun. I like doing them and some guys like them,
Yeah.
but it's like, "Oh, when are the install diaries coming back?" And it's like, "Slow down, dude." I mean, like you got to you got to kind of appreciate why you like those, and sometimes you need to step out of that realm and just do
Yeah.
something else for a minute so that you can go back and go, oh yeah, that's why I like doing these. You know?
But yeah, just that even as a creator, it's like if you keep doing the same type of videos and you don't mix it up,
Ah, it's terrible.
you'll burn yourself out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to, we have the benefit of being able to play with a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Let's talk about some shit that we like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that distribution block video
Yeah.
monitor
You didn't
thing.
see my comment?
I did. I did. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's funny too because they gave that to me and it's been sitting there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw it the other day and I go, oh fuck, we gotta do a video. We gotta do this video, man. Cause
Yeah.
like this was too cool. And I wish I would have had like the catalog that was in, because that would have been cool as shit.
Yeah, it would have.
But yeah, I mean, it's
That's like that's what I will say that's like one well, I'll say this. I think you guys have the best unboxing videos in cardio, bar none.
okay.
Second to that, I will say that I think, like, Derek will do the work on a video, like, because the dude
Yeah,
has
he's
freaking
all that
stacks
shit.
of books, you know?
Yeah,
And he knows exactly where that crap is.
yeah.
It's crazy. I've been helping him catalog, but he'll know, like, "Oh, that was in this issue or whatever," and he'll pull it out and be able to find it within a couple.
No, Bobby Jeff had nothing to do with that. That he's not in that department. He's in training. That was a John Catalano piece.
I mean,
So
it was cool. What let me ask you this, what all information was the screen to display?
So the idea is it was gonna have like, because like when you get a distribution block and it has a logo.
Mhm.
So I think the idea, if I remember correctly, is it was gonna have like some preloaded logo type shit on it. So it was gonna
Okay.
be like, some whirly twirly, because
Mhm.
you always have those, that you could also feed into your DVD player and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think it was just gonna have like a standard
What
spinning
what year
thing.
was that? Like, what year was this?
Dude, that was so long ago, man. I
I
mean,
wonder if do you remember Power
this
Amper?
was what's that?
Do you remember Power Amper?
Yeah.
So, they were from Florida, and
Mhm.
they had the really sick distribution blocks.
Mhm.
It had a little display, and it's kinda reminiscent of that, although it's way different, but
Yeah. So that was before I was at 5 stars. That was AVE time. So that was in the 2000s that was gonna be a thing. I mean,
yeah,
literally, it was in a box. I shit you not. And John found it, and, before he left, he was like, he's cleaning out all his crap because he was a hoarder. He would keep all
yeah,
this stuff. Like he had all when they got Phoenix Gold, he had tons of Phoenix Gold stuff because he just acquired it. And as he was leaving, he was taking it with him, because a lot of that stuff just goes into the trash can. Um, and so he was like, he saw that, and he was like, "Yeah, I know who to give this to." So, and at first I saw it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like they actually made one of these. Like, yeah, we needed it for pictures. We
yeah.
had it at CES, and I was like, "Damn, I thought this was fake." And he
And
goes, "Well, I mean,
that was a
technically it
Stinger
is."
piece then?
What's that?
Was that a Stinger piece at that point?
That was a Stinger piece.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, you had Stinger. You could, yeah, I showed the Stinger logo in it.
yeah,
But
that's it.
they made the wire, but that's as far as it got. They made the wire, they made some of the crimps and stuff, and they made some of the simpler, but that piece was never made to be. And I think what it was gonna be is it was gonna sit on top of a battery. I think that was the original idea, was it was gonna sit on their red top batteries, but who the fuck
Yeah.
knows?
Well,
I mean,
this is why I was thinking Phoenix Gold because they made, it was a really cool, it had the timers on it and stuff like that, the DD10
yeah.
at that this is around that time, is like 96, 97-ish, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't the problem is like with distribution stuff, I don't think anybody, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love what Metro is doing with the T-Spec stuff. And to some respects, the Tsunami stuff is really nice. Like I like that fuse holder because you can mount it and then you can rotate it any way you want, because a lot of the times that's an issue,
Yeah,
and it's like shit. Well, oh, no, just turn it. Okay, that makes sense. And JL Audio had something like that where you could just turn the ends, which is
right.
pretty neat, but they haven't updated that in 20 years,
Uh,
and it's like I get it, but these are still integral pieces that we need to do our job.
yeah,
And, the basehead community is really taken to Steve's pieces because they're retro as shit and they're 100% reliable. Like, it's a bolt.
yeah,
It's not going to go bad,
but
And
the
he does.
problem is you gotta have the space for it.
Yeah, and that's what I say. But the basehead community typically, I mean, when you got an amp that's this big, a distribution block that's a quarter
Right,
the size, really isn't a big deal, you know.
yeah,
So, um, but as far as like everything else, they just don't put any effort into it anymore. So it's like, and there again, I get it. A tire's round. It's gonna roll down. How many different versions of it? It's like, well, I don't know, but let's try
Yeah,
because
try
the rims are always different.
You know where else this happened? Once smartphones got big, remember the Razor was the epitome of technology at its time when it came out.
Yeah,
Go buy a flip phone now and see what it looks like. It's like the old bubbly flip phones that they sold in the early '90s
yeah.
because it, like,
Or it's a screen
regressed.
that's folded in half and looks like a shitty sandwich.
Yeah, right. But that is still cooler than the generic QWERTY
Yeah,
keyboard flip
yeah.
phone, which has regressed all the way back. Like, they
To
w
the crap.
yeah, because the Razors were legitimately cool phones for
Right.
old flip phones, and now you can't get nothing like that anymore.
Listen, I don't want anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always amused when someone whips out their Android and they go like this,
Yeah.
and I just look at that crease down the center and I go, "You're cool with that?" Like, I mean, I get a crack in my screen protector that I can only see if I'm angling it just right in the light, and I go, "I don't want to look at that." Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Um, but there again, it's like, whatever. Um, but yeah, it's so the class is going to be the 5-star way. So essentially, we're going to kind of touch on that, like what it took to get to where we're at in this journey of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. What it is that we how much effort we put into this. How much of my life is this consuming to be here? So that it's like it wasn't easy, and it still isn't easy. Like, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, you know. So,
Right.
if you think it's easy doing one night stands, try playing in a rock and roll band. Um, so we get to teach that class, but the bad part is we have to teach it at 6 or 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and it's like, fuck me.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm
Everything.
not.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm fine getting up in the early, but I'm not exactly a morning person, as some of my customers would tell you. They'll be like, "Man, you weren't happy to be here this morning." It's like, no fucking way, no kidding. Like, this is the last place I wanted to be in the morning. And talking to you wasn't high on my list of things to do. I want to come in, do my work, and wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
But it's like,
They used to give me hell at work because I wouldn't talk till about 8:30. We'd go in at 6:30, and for 2 hours, I would just be in my own world.
yeah.
I wouldn't be rude to people if they talked to me, but, like, I'm not engaging. I'm
No,
not
I don't want to make decisions that are gonna ruin the rest of my day.
right.
And bundt cakes are the best. I don't care what anybody says.
Dude, so we have a place called, what's
Nothing
something
but nothing bundt cakes.
yes,
Yes, it's
and
fucking amazing.
dude, they're expensive. Like,
Outrageous.
my god, I thought crumble cookie was
My God.
expensive.
Can I get a my God? Oh
Dude,
yeah. But dude, they are fuck.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, when we went, we had a lovely lady that served us at the counter and everything.
mhm.
Very talkative,
Yeah.
had the most annoying voice I've ever not
Yeah.
her fault, not her fault, she was born
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that voice, but it was so grating, like, I was stressed out by the time we left.
So they don't have forks or spoons because it's not a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's a different thing. If they have utensils, they have to classify themselves as restaurants,
Well, they
which is
didn't have the seats at the one we
no,
have
they
either.
don't they don't have nothing. You just
You just
walk
go to
in.
the counter, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's the funniest thing because I said, You guys don't have any forks or spoons or nothing?" They're like, "We can't." I was like, "Really? Okay, so when I want to come here, I need to bring my own spoon." Perfect. I can remember that.
Need, like, the Swiss Army knife, the old school one with a little spork on it.
Little spoon, yeah. Little fork, yeah. That'd be funny. Um, but anyways, so we have that one class in Vegas, and that's it. That's all we got the whole weekend.
Oh, man.
We're going there with Focal Moscone Gladen. So we do have some videos that we are going to try to film that we've been trying to film for them for like a year now. So hopefully that will pan out. But other than that, it's like my goal of I've always, and I say this I want to go to the pyramid, what is that, the Luxor?
Yeah, that's where we
Y-
stayed when we went.
yeah, you've been there. I know it's not that exciting, but I've been dying to go to the Luxor. Like that
I mean,
is
you got to see it, kind of.
it's just so annoying because I'm like, I just want to go to the fucking Luxor and walk around, you know?
They do a at the right next to it is the Knights, whatever the
Yeah,
hell it's called,
yeah.
Excalibur. That the show, the little night show,
Mhm.
really good, man. I was
Yeah,
shocked. We went on a whim, and it was a lot better than I expected.
yeah. But I've been trying to so the goal, because we're getting there early Thursday, and Brian will be there, or he gets in Wednesday. And so the goal right now is that we're supposed to go to breakfast with his boss, and then we're gonna go to the Luxor. And oh dude, so we have a customer that we just did his we put the Rockford Jeep system in his car.
Yeah,
And this guy owns one of the companies that ESPN and all these other places hire to bring their truck to a sporting event. So they
hmm,
have the portable studios,
right,
and so they have all the cameras, they have this, and so his got like 13 trucks, and they drive all over the country, and they just, every day they just go from one event to the next and set up all their shit. And so, they use, I don't know, everyone's been to a sporting event and they see the big cameras, you
right,
know.
yeah,
And so those lenses on there are $1 million. Okay, they're fucking expensive. Or they are $500,000, or it doesn't matter.
right,
It's fuck you money,
yeah,
you know. So he had like a birthday or something, and so they were like, "Hey man, we want to send you a gift." He's like, "Yeah, sure." So it's what is it? It's what fucking brand is it? Fuji.
yeah,
The Fuji sent him their DSLR and a lens and the whole 9 yards. It's a medium format camera.
wow,
So it's not full frame, it's bigger.
right,
And
yeah,
so he says, "Hey man, I got this camera. I know you're a camera guy because because we've done a bunch of cars for him." He's like, "Do you want to play with this thing?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" He didn't even know what it was. And
yeah,
so he brought it. He goes, "Here you go." And I go, "Holy shit, this thing is gigantic." He's like, "Yeah." And I popped them. I was like, "Holy fuck!" And so I have this new Fuji that I get to play with, that which is kind of fucked up because we also have like 4 new Canons to play with and a bunch of lenses for those. But I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, cool. You, Fernando, play with the Canons. I don't want to play with this Fuji.
I do the one that takes a back strap that
Yeah, yeah.
walk around like it's a
No,
gun. Yeah,
it's tiny, but the neck is so big because it's a medium format. So where the
yeah.
lens attaches, it's like a softball. It's fucking huge. It's really
That's
cool.
kinda how the R5s, or is that the new ones, the R5s? They kinda look like that because they have a big mount with a small body.
So funny you should say that,
Yeah.
because Brian and I were talking, and you probably can't see this, but okay, hold on, rotate. So
Mhm.
the bottom one is the R5,
Yeah,
and the top one is the Fuji.
yeah.
So
That's
it's
crazy.
slightly bigger. Yeah.
Probably 30% bigger or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah. So,
which is a big difference.
I honestly, I don't. It's a GFX, but there's no fucking numbers on it anywhere. It just says GFX on the side. And I don't think it's the big dog GFX,
Yeah.
because the buttons are different from everything I've looked at. I think it's the step down. But I have no idea where I haven't been able to figure out what part. There's no part number anywhere, and I was trying to go through the about section to just see maybe it has a model number in it, but and then I had to go back to work. So, but they do everything weird. Like, it's so weird.
I've never messed with a medium format or a Fuji camera at
It's so
all.
weird. The one cool thing about it, though, and there again, we're gonna get to car audio talk, guys. Just hang on. Is that the f-stop is built into the lens. which is how they used to do it back in the film days. So
Yeah,
it's like when you want to go, so it's an F4 to F2000, F22, but you
right.
just go whoop and it just done. I was like, oh,
That's
it's
crazy.
got some really neat features, and the autofocus on it is really cool too. But anyways, that's silly camera talk. Canon R5 will be no, the R1 is coming first. The R1 will be here first because of the Olympics, and then by the end of the year, the 5E Mark II or
Mhm.
R5 Mark II will definitely be out, which is fine because I mean we have the one now, so
Well, see, I'm trying to be like Dean because I got like 4 or 5 lenses sitting over here to the side. Although I think I'm gonna switch this camera to I think I'm gonna start using the ZV-1 on this because it's got for streaming, it's got better autofocus, even though it's gonna be narrower.
right.
I'll just move my desk back a little bit. That was camera talk. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, let's talk about. Okay, so that's an interesting. The title of the show is kind of like as typical hi-fi. He
Mhm.
just like says, it's like,
I
you
love
know,
very narrow topics.
what makes
Have
a
one
piece
answer.
of equipment SQ? And what I think is funny about this is depending on who you talk to,
Mhm.
you're going to get like 10,000 different answers. And usually they're all wrong, right?
Right, yeah.
Because it's all and not wrong in a bad way. I'm not like being dismissive like you're just wrong. No, but I feel like everyone has their twisted logic of whatever is good, bad, or indifferent, and I'm no different,
Yeah.
But um, I think it's just curious because yeah, yeah, for
Uh,
sure, 100%.
absolutely. 40
And to some
stars.
people, you're correct. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
dude, I literally had a guy go, "Is it high res?" And I was like, "Seriously?" And they're like, "Yeah." I go, "Huh, no.
The
Would
marketing
you like
works,
high
man.
res?"
The marketing works.
Yeah, and then I go, "Would you like high res?" And he goes like, "Yeah, I think I kinda would." I said, "No problem. Let me show you this amplifier." You know? Which is still a good amplifier. It was just like, "You're gonna pay more."
There you
The
go.
model has to
Yeah.
have SQ in it.
Dude, you so what brought this on is I did a dyno video of the Audison,
Oh,
subwoofer amp,
did you?
and someone commented how and most people that watch YouTube don't understand how YouTube works.
Yeah,
So I titled it, "Is this the best budget SQ amplifier?"
I saw it.
So, that's to get people thinking and clicking and like, "Okay," not saying that it is, it's a question, but they think, "Oh, you insinuated that this is the best budget SQ amplifier," when I really pose it as a question, which
Yeah.
they do reference later, but he was like, "Well, what makes it SQ? Is it the parts? Is it, this and that?" And then I added in, is it the brand reputation? Is it the person looking at it? Yeah, you gotta listen, you gotta do a little bit of it.
That's total clickbait.
Yeah,
I think Christian read Andy Waymeyer's post this past week, Myths of Car Audio, which I honestly think we should do a show on that because it was fantastic.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, Sony and Kenwood amps both have those because they pay to be part of the high res society. Um, okay, so we were asked to do an amp dyno for a bunch of amplifiers this past week for a conference at Knowledge Fest, and we dynoed the 801.5, which is their little 5 channel or their bigger 5 channel.
yeah,
And so we have 50-watt 4 ohm load resistors, the big plates.
mhm,
So we always put when we're doing a 5 channel, we always put those onto the channel to load it down. And we had a bunch of 5 channels we had to do, but for the sub, it does 2 ohms. Now our power supplies that day were on fire. Not fig. They put out 14.55 watt or volts. So
yeah,
they were cooking. This was not a real world amp dyno. All right. So you can't see it, but the fucking hell on a 901.5, their 5-channel amplifier, which is supposed to be 900 watts.
Yeah.
No shit. Put out 1,026 watts into 2 ohms at 14.55 volts.
Yeah.
I was like, motherfucker. Holy shit. Okay. It was fucking ridiculous. Certified, it was 865, which is
Right.
right, it's still way more than it needs to be. Bridged, like if you bridge channels 1 and 2
Yeah.
together, getting 400 watts
Are
per
these
pair.
what is this Kenwood AM?
Yeah, that's the Kenwood
Yeah.
Exelon
You got
901.5.
yeah, because Kenwood they always will do what
Yeah.
they say, plus
Yeah, so
plus
when
15% usually.
oh, it's astronomical the amount of power this thing was putting out. I was like, "Fuck me."
Yeah.
Yeah, so at 2 ohms, it's like 220 watts a channel. But at 4 ohms, it's 126, 125
Right.
per channel at 4 ohms. But yeah, so I mean, it's funny. It just puts out a shit ton of power and it's high res certified.
High res. Full on
High res.
SQ system.
Yeah, the only way to compare SQ is to perform a proper unsighted listening test, confrontation,
Oh
by
god. I'll
no,
never do that in my life.
no,
Yeah.
no. You really want to know how to do an unbiased SQ. You want to know how to do it. You want to know how to find out if something actually sounds good. Go out, buy yourself a really, really nice set of home speakers. I mean, a really nice set of home speakers. Don't go with some fucking, you know, they're again not anything against all the cheap stuff, but go buy the good stuff, like really good stuff, like
You
like
talking about
fuck
like
that.
Mark Logan electrostatic.
If I mean, if that's what you're into, yeah, get
Yeah.
yourself a really high end set of home audio speakers to the point where you're like, I really shouldn't have spent that much.
Yeah.
Okay, put it in your room. You don't have to worry about getting the cables off the floor, but and use so it's always the reference, right? So
Yeah.
you have to have had listened to something that was amazing. And there again, this falls back to like when we were talking about Brian's car. You know, if everyone says Brian Mitchell's car is the best sounding car that they've ever heard, then you need to get the fuck into Brian Mitchell's car and
Yeah.
listen to it so that when you're in something else, you can go, doesn't sound as good as Brian's. It sounds good, but not as good as
Mhm.
Brian's. So, but that's just it. You have to have something that is phenomenal, and then you can appreciate everything that's not. So like if like I had to put in I had like a quick job I had to do today. I had to put a set of shitty JVC two ways, which could have been anyone. Could have been Pioneer, could have been
Oh,
Sony, could have been fuck it, who cares? It's just a
they all
shitty,
have 'em. They all have them.
shitty $59 set of crappy 6.5-inch coaxials. And the whole time I was thinking, if you're buying a set of these for any reason whatsoever, other than to replace a blown speaker, which is what this guy was doing, there is no purpose for these in anyone's life. These things are shit. Like,
Yeah.
God, what a fucking waste of time, But there again, this guy's speakers, there was no surround left on them. He just wanted some speakers.
You
That's
just
what
want
these
to
were
sound.
made for.
Yeah.
This is a factory replacement speaker that's cheap as shit, and he's happy. But there are guys that will go out and buy those things and be like, bro, check it out. I just got these awesome 6.5s. And it's like, no, you did. You got some pieces of shit, bro.
Yeah.
And it would, hey, I get it, but I don't know. Living the reality of what life is.
What I
And
think
don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of it too, because I remember buying my first pair of crappy
oh,
speakers and
everybody.
going, these things are fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's whatever your point of reference is, like you
Right.
said. What have you listened to before and what have you listened to just in your history? But I think that plays into people are so particular about what's SQL, what's SPL, what's this and that. Be like,
We just
it
all agree
doesn't
that SQL just means a daily driver.
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
I
I
want a
mean,
loud stereo that sounds good. Yeah,
yeah. You don't
cool.
want it to sound like shit when you get
Right.
or you don't want I think a lot of it is that people don't want now subs used to overpower the mids back
Yeah,
in
they
the
want a
90s
balanced system.
big time. So they want to be able to hear their mids and not have it sound like absolute garbage.
Sorry.
But
Sorry, John.
but on that, I think people just they get too serious with it. And when you're listening to people say review this, review that, what you have to do is go back and kind of, if you've watched them a long time, what things do they like that you also like?
Yeah.
I liked this, this, and this, but I didn't like this. Well, you like this, this, and this, and you didn't like this. You know that my opinion is close to your opinion. So if I like it, you'll probably like it as well. That's kind of how like I would look at video game reviews
Right.
because it's so subjective. Some people don't like football games, some people love them. So I found the reviewer that kind of matched what I like to do,
Right.
and I knew that if they liked it, there was a pretty good chance that I would like it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny. It's funny that you say that because I'll get these guys that'll come in and they'll have bought their own stuff and they'll be like, dude, the reviews online were amazing. Everyone's putting these in their car. And I'll be like, I just look at them and go, who? Who are these people? And
Yeah,
what is their pedigree that they can tell you how awesome these sound? You know? And they always look at you like, what do you mean? I'm like, so, if all they're doing is comparing it to factory and the factory sounded like crap to them,
yeah,
then okay, it's better than factory. But is their better than factory meet your better than factory? Because we get these Ford F-150s with the unleashed BO system in 'em with the 200 speakers everywhere, and the guy will come in and be like, "This thing sucks," and you'll tell them what they have, and they'll just look at you and go, "It still sucks," and they're like, "Okay,
make it
well,
louder. That's what they're
well,
telling
no, it's not that not. It just sounds bad,
you. Yeah,
but I can look at that and go, okay, so this is what you're hearing. Let's have a conversation. Tell me about what you're hearing, which really isn't terrible, but it's missing something. So I have to dig from them. What is it missing? What is it that you want that this can't deliver? Is this a sizzling tweeter or is this tweeter sizzle too much? Is the imaging suck? I mean, is it not loud enough? I mean, there's a lot of things that come into play. But you can't get that from a magazine or a forum or there's no magazines, online magazine.
yeah,
Um, so no matter how much bullshit you read, it's still bullshit. And then if you got a talking head that is telling you something and he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about because the only thing he's ever heard is $120 set of speakers
yeah,
or one pair of really expensive speakers that he saved up 6 months to buy and put them in his car. And these are the absolute most amazing things he's ever heard. And they are, but not to me.
yeah.
To me, I look at him and go, oh, those are cute. Those are cute. Hey, come over here and come listen to this. I would never do that, but it's also like, and then they say, oh, and you're like, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Not so good anymore, are they? No. Okay. But don't feel bad. It's okay.
Yeah.
But if you're over their web, I know everything. You don't know shit.
Some people are too hard-headed that if they spent the money, it's gonna be the best regardless. Because they spent the money, they're invested. They don't wanna feel like there's something they coulda got better for the same money or maybe a little bit more.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, nobody misery loves company. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love how you guys are talking about sound bars because
Well,
it's a sound bar having dude too.
mhm.
When I went to
Hey,
his house, I'm like,
I have one now with, rear speakers and a subwoofer, so take that.
I mean, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, my home audio system is embarrassing, but it will impress people that listen to TV speakers. Very
Yeah.
impressed with the people that just have TV speakers.
It's funny too, is like, okay, so let's talk about Bose for a minute, okay? Because
Yeah,
Sonos is definitely a better
but
um a better version of it,
can
right?
I
But
admit something before we get
yeah,
into it?
yeah.
I kinda like Bose. I
Over
kinda
Sonos?
not over Sonos, but just, like, back in the day,
Yeah.
like most of Bose products, I thought they sounded pretty good, but a lot of the criticisms of them were valid.
Okay, so I'm not gonna criticize Bose.
Yeah,
I have no criticisms for Bose. I have no problem with it whatsoever. So don't take this as a Bose bash. They do some fucking Martian technology shit,
yeah,
which is great. But the overall idea was room filling sound. Okay,
Right.
how can we take and fill this room full of luscious sound? One of just to tell you how much how cool Bose is. When I was younger and we first got into this, we went to the home audio store, or not the home audio store, went to the the Guitar Center type shit.
Right. Yeah.
And they had their whole Bose outdoor yard shit, that you take for your concerts and crap. And they had this 112 band pass with this array that popped up out of the top of it. And the guy goes, dude, watch this. And he fucking cranks it up and puts the pamphlet in front of the fucking hole. And it ripped, just fucking woof, shredded the fucking pamphlet. And I go, this was long before you guys were seeing this shit done in
Yeah.
trucks.
Before Steve done it with the phone book.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is like 17-year-old Dean. I was like, that's the most amazing fucking thing ever. How do I get this in my car?
Exactly.
But so they have an idea and they've done it really well with those they put a little array together. You put 3 of those across the front, you put 2 in the back, put corner load the subwoofer in the center in the room. And you play a movie 5.1 surround. They've got really good mixing done with equalization. Like, Jesus Christ, the shit that they do is just like, they're smart motherfuckers. He's a doctor. He was a doctor. He's dead now, but he was a doctor. He understood this shit, and it was a marketing genius.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but the idea was room filling sound and to feel special about it. And they created this brand that was just like, I have Bose, and it's like, okay, come over here into this chamber and play your Bose now. And it's like, oh, I have Bose. You're like, oh Jesus, it sucks.
Yeah.
Bose stores, yeah. I have the great story I tell about Haley walking out of Bose stores. He goes, that's supposed to sound good? No. No, it's not. So there again, and I think Bose was there. I mean, dude, the smartest people in the room, no doubt about it. Marketing, making cool products, making lifestyle audio.
Yeah.
It was just genius. And now, companies like Sonos, and there's a couple other ones out there that are taking it to the next level. Like Apple tried and they failed,
Yeah.
which you knew they would.
Although their speaker sounds really good for what it is.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Really
But I mean,
But
they're again, some companies get on too early. They don't
yeah.
understand what they're
But
doing.
Apple sometimes has a problem sniffing their own farts a little bit too much.
Mhm.
And when they do that, you end up with that kind of product where it's like $700, and it's just it is probably the best one of that size that you can get, but
Yeah. But I love so nowadays people just want to hear music. They don't
yeah,
want to experience music. They just want it around them at all times, like a
right,
blanket. So, room following music and it's stuff that just makes sound feel like it's coming from all around you. And, like you have your Sonos in the living room, you have your Sonos in the bedroom, out by the pool, in the
yeah,
garage, in the kitchen. And you're just moving around the rooms and it's just giving you this audio that is just like, it's almost like a shopping mall where there's just
yeah,
sound everywhere and nowhere at all. And people love that shit, you know? And that was essentially Bo's idea. It's like, what if we could just make you sit in the center of just sound vomit? And it's
yeah,
just, it's like, oh, the car is so real. No, it's not. It's a 2-inch speaker. It's not going to be real. I mean, they had middler technology better than anything out now
you're right. Yeah,
back in the 80s, because I mean, it was 2.5-inch middlers
yeah,
and an 8-inch sub. Fuck. But they knew what they were doing.
and
you
that's
know?
so I had this idea. I'll never make the video, so I'll talk about it here. I was gonna do a video called "How Beats and Bose Saved High-End Audio,"
Mhm.
because at 2 different points in time, Bose kind of brought high-end audio. High-end audio is never truly gonna die, but it brought it more mainstream
Yeah, because you could afford Bose.
because you can afford Bose and you're getting something.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's comparable to the high-end audio, but
No.
you think it's comparable because it sounds
Yeah.
way better than anything you've heard
Well,
before.
you spent 2 grand, 2,500, 5,000
Right.
bucks on it,
And you
you
got a
know?
thing that looks like a PlayStation 4 as
Yeah.
your console, and then a bunch of little
Before
cubes
PlayStation 4 existed.
that go like this, yeah.
Mhm.
But the same thing happened with Beats and headphones, particularly.
Right.
People were not willing to pay high-end headphone prices during that time, besides
Mhm.
people that like Head-Fi. People that were
Yeah,
on Head-Fi
nerds.
would buy
Yeah,
them,
nerds. Yeah.
right? So then everybody Beats made them cool. They don't particularly sound good, or they didn't at that time, but they were
Oh,
$300
agreed.
headphones that creaked like hell when you walked and all
But
this
they
stuff,
look cool.
but they were cool, and
Yeah.
that kinda got people into, like, hey, a bunch of other brands exploded with that, and they started making quote unquote "high-end" type headphones.
Right. Well, anytime something become mainstream, I mean, I feel like Jordans probably did that for tennis shoes,
Right,
because up until then they were just shoes, and then they became Jordans.
right, yeah,
Headphones were headphones, and then they became Dre's.
right,
So it's it's one of those things to where, yeah, there's always that moment where something becomes but it never lasts, right?
right,
It,
yeah,
it never lasts. It's like it's lightning in a bottle, and you want to just keep it going as long as you can, and then you move on because it loses focus, or
except
it's
Bose is forever for whatever
and
reason.
there again, Bose is one of those companies that is forever. It is
Right,
just that their marketing is just genius, you
yeah,
know. Um, and I think in car audio, sadly enough, some of you guys are gonna be like, the marketing genius in car audio is Scar. Kevin has dumped a shit ton of resources into making Scar Audio one of the most known brands in the 12-volt industry. Even and what I mean by that is not us nerds.
yeah,
Like us nerds are like, oh fuck, whatever. It's cool. I get it. But the everyday guy, like when I was talking about when I was on the cruise ship, there's 2,200 people on this cruise ship. There might be two people that are interested in car audio. Okay.
mhm,
And it's my job to find those two people. It's not going to happen. But when dad gets home and he's like, oh, the beater is needing some new speakers, or the boat's going to need something, and he types in car audio, and Scar pops right up. He goes, oh, that's a $79 speaker. Wow, audio's the same price as it was back in the 80s. And it's like, no, jackass, it's
I would
not.
say Scar isn't the marketing genius, they're the SEO genius.
Well, and there again, that's the new thing, though.
Right, yeah,
They have done, like, Bose was marketing, because Bose was magazines and
mhm,
TV commercials and flyers and word of mouth, and that doesn't exist anymore because people don't talk.
yeah,
Like, so, and plus now it's like, you have, you know, like, I get appreciation for a brand, right?
yeah,
It's like, like, I understand it. I'm guilty of it too, which is, I guess, what you always have to say to be like, it's nothing unique. But when you like something, it's like, for some reason right now, the way the world is, or the United States, whatever, we're willing to just
you have to die
wherever
for
you want to take
able
us.
to die for it.
Yeah. And it's, even if the product is not as good as they say it is, we're still gonna go for it. And
Right,
it's like, okay. And I paid $1,500 for it. It's like,
yeah,
okay, that's cool. Or he says this is gonna be the most amazing thing ever, and it's gonna be better than that. No, you just don't understand that piece. But
yeah,
that piece is too hard for you. So that doesn't make this piece better, and it doesn't make you dumb. It just makes it to where this was something you didn't understand, and you bought it anyways because everyone was saying you had to have it. You got it, and you're like, oh shit, I need to talk to somebody to have them explain this to me.
right,
Um, because this thing that they're trying to sell you is complete trash.
yeah,
But you're just gonna buy it because it's your brand.
yeah,
It's like, I mean, I think it's, from a marketing point of view, I love it. I think it's great. I look at that and go, ha, that's what I'm talking about, because that's what I talk to manufacturers about. in the dark times when no one's around. I talk and explain to them how this works. And they always look at you and go, because they'll always ask the same question. How does this guy get? I'm like, what do you mean, how does this guy? He fucking spoon feeds this shit to his fans.
Yeah.
They're there, right there. And they're talking shit. Like, and everybody loves it when somebody talks shit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's a fucking idiot. Okay, Mr. President. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. That's why I'm always, even though let's use Kicker as an example. Like
yeah,
I love Kicker as a brand. I love the people that work there. I know plenty of them personally, but when they drop a Square Pro sub, or not sub but mid,
yeah,
and a bullet tweeter, I'm a known bullet tweeter hater. So would I just say, "Oh, I love Kicker, so now this bullet tweeters are great"? No, no. I think we literally had a whole show clowning on the square
yeah,
mids and bullet tweeters because
yeah.
so we
It's
do.
not my
Like everybody gets equal treatment here.
Yeah. Well, in there again, it's like every now and then, like somebody, everybody knows I'm an Apple fanboy. Okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean like everything they do, I'm behind.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes they do shit and I just sit there and go, fuck, really, guys? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's so stupid. I
Yeah.
mean,
That's like the whole. So let me. Everyone's fixing to get mad right now. This is not politics, but it's very close. It's the closest thing you get to politics. People that have Android phones hate people that have Apple phones.
well, of course they do.
Like, I just find it strange
Why?
because, like, I don't hate people that have Android phones.
Right, but that's
You know what
that's literally rule number one in the book of Dean is if you're not on my team, you suck.
Yeah,
And that is 100% life as it is. So,
yeah,
and it's everything we do. I drive a Mustang. A guy in a Camaro hates me because I drive a Mustang. And then I go, dude, 3 years ago I had a Camaro. I had it for 8 fucking years. Okay. I love the
yeah,
car. Did I want to get rid of it? No, but I wanted a convertible. I liked this convertible better than that convertible. So I drive in a Mustang. Do I give a shit who makes it? No. I just liked this car.
mm,
It's like, oh, JP. Oh, JP's the best. JP's the best. Everything else sucks. That can't possibly be true.
right, yeah,
Okay. He makes some good stuff, but that doesn't mean he's making the best stuff. And it doesn't, and there I'm not
and it
picking on
doesn't mean that
JP.
everything else sucks,
Just using it as an example
as an
because there are
example,
some JP people out there that are fucking ride or dies. And
right,
they're like, I want Dean's head. No, I got nothing against his stuff. It's cool.
yeah,
I'm just using that as a case in point that some people are just like blinded by the fact that and they give you this godlike status that it's just like it's fucking silly. Like,
yeah,
whoa, he's look what he's doing. And it's like, and don't get me wrong, they'll do the same thing for Kicker, and
oh
they'll
yeah,
do
yeah,
the same thing for
for sure,
everyone else. And I think it's great. There's nothing wrong with it though. That's the
yeah,
best part because anytime, a manufacturer can do something that gets the consumers excited about it, they've managed to do it right for fucking once. Because
yeah,
there again, I have to have these conversations with these manufacturers over and over again. That it's like, hey guys, you're not inventing new Coke,
yeah,
okay? And they just look at you funny because most of them aren't old enough to understand what new Coke was. And I don't even know do you know what new Coke was?
yeah.
Okay, right. Okay.
It was
So new
Pepsi,
Coke came out and it
it was
tastes like shit
Pepsi.
because it tastes like Pepsi. And we
Yeah,
found that out, and everybody found that out at the same time because everybody went out and bought a fucking can of new Coke because Coke said, we got new Coke, and we were all like, well, I gotta try it. And this was back in fucking TV days, man.
yep,
Before the internet. And there was no way of direct communication to Coca-Cola to go, you fucked up, this sucks. But we all the news was talking about, have you tried new Coke? Fuck me. Like the world doesn't work like that anymore.
no,
Very rarely does a product come out, with the exception of maybe a Tesla,
right,
that, because even the iPhone, the days of waiting in line to get a new
yeah,
iPhone,
That was over at 7-ish, probably 6. Like,
Yeah, nobody does that shit
they had a
anymore.
good run, but,
Yeah, it
no
did. It was a
yeah,
lot of fun, you know? But to me, like, and to give it up to JP because those guys do a really good job of getting people excited about their new products, which is what they're
right.
supposed to do. And everyone's like, I gotta buy one of those. And it's like, fuck yeah, dude, way to go. High fives. You figured it out, you know?
You know who
And
gets us like that?
who?
Canon.
Who?
These sons of bitches, Canon.
Oh, yeah, but Canon's funny because the only ones that are gonna get excited about that are Canon people.
I
So,
know, which we're
but
Canon people, and
right, but
every
they're
few reasons
pandering.
I'm like, should I
Right, but
get
they're
that?
pandering to their own audience is what I'm
Yeah,
getting at, because
that's
there's
true.
no one that's gonna change teams. The
That's
only
true almost
camera
for
com
any camera company though, kind of, because
well,
you're
the only camera company that's come out that anyone's changed teams on was Sony. When Sony decided to go ham on everybody, it was like, "Oh, fuck, I'm gonna go with Sony." Like, more people migrated to Sony. A lot of them have gone back,
yeah,
but, but dude, everybody that owns a Sony DSLR, and you guys can go if you might own one or you can go talk to your friends. Anybody that owns a Sony DSLR, walk up to them and go, "How is your Sony?" And they will tell you that is the best fucking thing that has ever been invented.
yeah.
And you just look at them and go, "Okay." And it's not, but Bill Frog, he's a Sony guy, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
he
yeah,
loves to fucking go, "Oh, which camera do you have again?" I go, I got 6 of them. Which one do you want me to talk about?"
yeah,
And be like, "Well, I have a Sony, you know, A7, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Okay." I mean, I got a 1DX, I got a 5D Mark IV, I got a 5D Mark II, I got a 7D Mark II, I have all the fucking R's now, and so what do you got again? One can okay, cool. Yeah, and it's
yeah.
better than all of mine.
And listen, I've got this one. So I've been using this, the Lumix, and
Yeah,
I've been happy with this.
dude, it doesn't
So
matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter. I got a Sony right here too. So and I'm on a Canon right now. So
Dude, let me tell you what
and
it is
this
about the
thing,
lens. It is
this
all
one
about the lens ecosystem.
about
Oh, fuck
useless.
GoPro.
This
GoPro's
one's about
garbage.
useless. Yeah.
Such trash. Um, But at this point in my life, I have 3 lens ecosystems, and it's 3 lens ecosystems too much. And if I get to keep this fucking
Yeah.
this other camera, it's like I gotta go buy a fucking 51 too because like it needs that so bad or 100
Yeah.
needs something low. Ah, God, F4 is just not gonna work for me. I'm like F4, but
That had
um,
the worst screen in car audio history.
yeah, yeah.
Super dope unit, but the screen was terrible.
Listen, the GS9 will be Sony's pinpoint best player for a very, very long time,
Yeah.
and I get why they didn't come out with a direct replacement for it with a screen, but I really wish they would have, because
Yeah.
yeah, it was it, but it's just so
I
basic.
still to this day have people arguing with me
Oh,
that
PRS 80? Oh, good shit.
less, dude. And it's like, how many I think it's back to the original problem. Like, this is probably the best head unit they've ever had.
Yes, 100%.
So like I'm not seeing the full side of their argument
No,
when
no, I totally get it.
I've bought like 5. I bought 5 of those. And they for what they were back in 2012 when they originally came out, they were pretty awesome. But to say that in 2024 it's still the best because this and this, because it has Burr Brown, because it has this and that, and you're putting it in a base ride,
Yeah.
like what good is that doing you? I don't get it.
So, Baba, to answer your question, that is the one thing that a GoPro was actually made for.
Yeah.
Because GoPros were invented by surfers. But the sad thing is you could probably have more fun and do a better job just getting the waterproof case for your waterproof phone.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was saying I like it when you like I like the stabilization in it.
yeah,
It's really you don't have to use a gimbal or anything, and it's
no,
like
it's great for water, but
yeah,
it's a hit or miss. Like we just took it on this cruise. I've never even bothered to look at the footage. I didn't even give a shit. I took it. I was like, this fuck this. I don't even know where it's at. I gotta go find it. I think it still might be in the camera. Probably is. But
Yeah.
that is the only thing that and there's a bunch of them now. So it's like you don't have to go with theirs because DJI makes a nice one. But that's it. That's the only honestly, that's the only reason why I bought a GoPro was when we went to Maui, we needed a new one. And the only GoPro I'd bought before that was when we'd gone to Maui and I needed a new one. So it
Yeah.
seems like every time I go to Maui, I buy a new GoPro. And then we use it once and it goes back into the case and it sits there until we need to use it again. Like
Yeah.
it's like they're just
And I've watched the underwater footage one time and it's like, yeah, I never watched it again.
yeah, it's crap. It's just
Mhm.
the dumbest fucking camera ever. I think if I have to go snorkeling again, I'm just gonna get the waterproof case for my phone and just hope for the best,
Yeah.
because it can't be any worse than trying to use a fucking GoPro. That stupid little screen and it never works and it's
Yeah.
always shit's changing on you. And it's like, oh, screw all this, Or I could spend $1,000 and get the waterproof case for my DSLR. Because I could
Mhm.
probably because I could probably find an inexpensive waterproof case for like one of the ADDs that we have.
But how
Yeah.
does it cover the lens?
Oh, it's a bubble.
Oh,
There's a
really?
bubble that goes over the
It'd be a
lens.
bubble boy.
It'd be a bubble boy, and they have a little thing. It's really cool. That's how you get all the cool water surfing shit.
Yeah.
Is they have these cool blimps that go over them. That's really cool. Um, but yeah, it's So did we figure out what makes something SQ? Oh, I know what it is.
What
I
is
know
it?
what it is.
What
It
is
has
it?
to be an AB class amplifier.
Some people would argue that. Even though no one and I do like Class AB amplifiers, but, you know, it's 2024 now.
Hey, listen, you can get an RP 450 or whatever the hell it's called for $129, AB class amplifier. Best SQ amp there ever is.
Mhm.
You'd be like, I get to experience the joys of AB.
Because it's cheaper to produce at that power
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's all about the money, but you do need money. I was a professional staff photographer for both Super Surf magazines back in the day. There you go, man. You know what it's like to get your ass handed to you by a wave, holding that cool camera thing, going, oh. I follow all those guys on Instagram. They do some awesome shit. I actually bought one of their books when I was in Maui last time, of just this guy that I followed on Instagram that had a book published. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I bought it in Hawaii because, you got to buy it where it's from, right?
Yeah.
Um, we convinced JP to make surfboard SQ amps and didn't buy. You guys are the worst.
Dude, look, like the cert I get bass heads will buy big amps.
Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
me, it's like, I don't like, if you're coming out with a big amp, like, don't even talk to me. I don't want it in my car. I'll test it because people wanna see it, but as far as me installing it, never.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you need to send your complaints to Haley.
Yeah. 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 We'll get to that. Well, now you got the new GAN amps. Ooh, limited
Oh,
run GAN
yeah.
amps from Sound Digital. The reviews are in.
I
I got to hear
last
it.
last time they did it, they had a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced it was a shill because it was all on Facebook on the sound quality thing, and it was very shilly, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, this one there's 500 of them, and I disagree with the SQ is subjective. It's not. It's measurable. Yeah. We've already established that in a previous show,
Yeah,
but it's 100% measurable. It's not subjective at all. It's not. Now there are things that you will like. But
yeah.
that doesn't mean you understand, or that doesn't mean you can say that sound quality is subjective. It's not. It's a thing. It's measurable. It's repeatable, and that's that.
I would
You might
say it's a consensus
right
because
because if he's okay. So for example, I could make the shittiest sounding car in the world,
yeah,
right? and say, "I think this is the most amazing car ever."
Right.
And everyone will get in the car and go, "No, you're wrong. This is the biggest piece of shit." Well, sound is subjective, so to me, this is, and it's like, no,
Right.
it's not. Like this,
But if everyone agreed with you, if it you could truly make the worst sounding car
well, if everyone agreed with me, I'd just become president.
that was see, listen, the worst sounding car objectively by some kind of magic, and then everyone agreed that it was good,
Yeah,
that is the new standard for sound quality. So it's like a consensus of what people that
yeah,
have
right,
trained themselves in sound quality to,
right. But I mean, there's certain things that I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are certain sounds that I don't like,
yeah,
but that doesn't have anything to do with sound quality. It just has to
right.
do with things that irritate me.
Well, and it's just like and then also, are we talking sound quality competition? Are we talking personal sound quality? Are we talking, what are we talking? That's the thing that gets confused.
Who's Justin? Says no one has ever heard one of Justin's build. Weird. Why do I gotta wait for 2028, man? I think we should just boom it
Yeah,
up to 2024.
next
Right
year.
in, Dean and Fernando.
There
Everyone
you
should do
go.
that as a write-in. I mean, it couldn't be any worse than voting for the two options we're gonna have, right? I feel like I have this strange deja vu feeling going on.
Yeah, let's find the oldest guys we can get.
Oh
This
my
who you
god,
got.
dude! And that's the end of the show, guys.
Yeah. Oh man.
Thank God.
Yeah. Come watch us talk about a very crazy story.
Holy shit!
Very crazy.
Yes.
Very crazy. It's gonna be a good one.
Fuck
You're
yeah,
not gonna
man.
wanna miss it.
No,
Click
no.
the link, join us. It's gonna be fun.
See you guys.
See ya.